Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Two Hands in a Radio, where we look at portable shortwave radios and other stuff. Today we are looking at an accident. I didn't mean to buy this really. It's the Grundig S450 DLX field radio. I've read a lot of bad things about it. And you say, Two Hands, what do you mean you didn't mean to buy it? It was an accident. This is one of those moments when you weren't trying to have children and you hear the words, I'm pregnant. It's kind of that oh shit moment. And this is about the same thing, really. I saw this on eBay and it was really, really cheap. Now, for really, really cheap, I can buy it. You know, I'll look at anything if it's cheap. And it was cheap, and I thought, well, I'll just bid on it and see what happens. I bid on it. Reserve not met. Oh. So they probably want an exorbitantly high price for it. I get it. And that's okay. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to poke the bear a bit and see where that reserve price might be. But still keep it reasonable. And so I threw another bid out and it said, reserve met. You're the high bidder. And I thought, no problem. There's a lot of time left. Somebody will trample all over me. And it won't be a problem because I really don't want it. And it's really too much money. Really too much what I threw out there. And I waited and I waited and I waited. And you're still the high bidder. And I won the auction. And that's when I said, oh, shit. So, this is a bonus. This radio should not be here right now. This is just a bonus. Anyway, and the reason you say, but Two Hands, why are you saying this radio shouldn't be here? The Eaton Grundig Edition Field BT really spoiled me. This is going backwards from the Field and the Field BT. There was a Grundig 350, then the and I don't know, there was an iteration in there where they threw some letters on the end of it, and then there's the Grundig S450 DLX Field Radio, get it, Field Radio. Then they went to the Eaton Grundig Edition Field, and then they went to the Eaton Grundig Edition Field BT. So that's kind of the hierarchy of things. So we're really going backwards. We're not making any improvements by far. And I can tell with the Field BT, they made huge improvements over this, and which is rare these days for anything to improve. But here we go. It's 12 1/4 inches wide, 7 3/4 inches tall, 3 7/8 inches thick. It's huge. Takes 6 D batteries. And weighs a ton. And audio wise, the Field BT has a better audio. This is not bad. Just comparing the two, the Field BT is a little richer volume, a little crisper. This is just it's okay, it's good. We have a cheap plastic bandwidth knob, mono, stereo, and FM, and this is where I got that it said to always keep it in the mono gear. If you're just listening to this speaker, you keep it in mono. It helps the reception if you drop it to stereo for the headphone jack. We've got a wide and narrow bandwidth. Who knows where we'll start. Then below that, we've got another wobbly knob of medium wave, shortwave 1, 2, and 3. Shortwave 1 is 1711 to 10,010. 2 is 9.99 to 20.010, and band 3 is 19.990 to 29.99. So that's that. Got a volume knob, RF gain knob. We'll leave that at max for this adventure. Bass and treble. That's a nice. The bass and treble controls is a nice addition. We come up to too many timer A, timer B, alarm button. I hate alarms as much as I hate wrist straps. Quick tune button, that's going to help us because there's no direct entry keypad here. So how are you going to get around? Just like the Field BT, if you've watched that video, you see the quick tune really saves your bacon by being able to jump the bands and get you a little closer to where you want to go. Time set, hour and minute, or up and down for your tuning. Also scans with your up and down button. Memory button, you can put things in memory. I was gonna look at the manual and see how many memories it has. I have no idea. The manual is very scant and not the best manual on earth. It just kind of, just like what I'm doing really. Oh, there's the power button, and that's it. It doesn't really go into any detail at all. Power button, which also doubles as a sleep button, goes 90 minutes or so, all the way down to not much, and a lock button. And then we get to the wonderful tuning knob that if you use the finger indent, it's real stiff and it wobbles, and I guarantee that's gonna break, and you can hear it. But if you use one hand, and grab a hold of it, it doesn't tune horribly. That ain't good. That's all I'm gonna say, it ain't good. Let's turn this beast around. We have an antenna switch, DX and local. We have external and internal antennas. And we have key light. Turn our display light on and off. Probably not gonna need that today. Line out button, excellent. We have a line in, that's even excellenter. And we have a stereo earphone jack. 47-inch antenna. Then we start having these F-type connectors and these little thingies right here that'll work on a long wire or coax cable antenna. 6D batteries are there. Probably ought to look and help out here as everything falls out. The batteries. The top row of 3 the positive go to the left, the bottom 3 go to the right. I'll be back after I put the batteries in. Okay, just like magic, we got everything put back together. This reminds me of the Satellite 800 and that great big beast, and it had 9D batteries in it. And you pop that door open and they would spring out at you every time. This is about the same way, it just fell out. But I wanted to make sure that I showed the direction of the batteries just in case anybody needed that. DC adapter on the left hand side, and we're back around to the front. And the one thing I do want to mention is it's really buried in the manual, and it's just button is on top is the only clue you get. And it doesn't tell you what that button, it tells you what the button's for. Let me back up and tell you what I'm trying to get at. It has an infernal beep. Any button, knob, anything you hit, beep, 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 all over, and it just drives you nuts. It's not a pleasant beep. And I read that if you press the snooze button for 2 seconds, it'll disable that beep. Great, where's the snooze button? And the instruction manual doesn't show you anything. Normally they take you through all the pieces and parts. No, the snooze button is up here on top. As you can see it right there, next to a light button. It's buried in there to where you really can't see it very well. You hold that button down for 2 seconds, that turns off that blasted beep. And we also have a nice carrying strap as a lovely parting gift. It's not bad. It's basically the same thing that's on the Field BT. Kind of handy when you deal with something this big. Let's fire it up and take a look. We're on good old medium wave right now. There's Cincinnati. Does pretty good for just sitting here. I have noticed on this, of course, this is an older model that's used, and I have noticed that the tuning knob has a little bit of, you see where it went right there, it pulls back a little bit. Now, that's annoying, but you can get over it.
You know, and she had a few years to recover. It's in history that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There's our local station, Indianapolis.
Luckily,
You can see just me turning the knob quickly, it really does good on medium wave. There's Seymour, just sounds really good.
Huge acquisition.
It does have a signal meter up here, shows you what's going on. Let's just move on and let's go to FM. See if we can try to avoid some of the music.
Artificial Christmas trees. You can actually see 150 different styles.
I don't even have the antenna up yet. Oh, golly Wally. The things I do. Did I already say it was a 44-inch antenna? It's huge.
Remember to sleep in on Friday because the
I'll sleep in.
To help diffuse the threat of Russia. Coming up, the dumbest tweet ever. Stay with us.
Got a fantastic volume. Fantastic audio is what I'm trying to say. Turn that down. Go to our local station. Okay, alrighty. FM is fantastic, and like I said, I've said it over and over and over, I don't want to labor around on FM because the copyright police will just blow this up, and we really don't want to go there. So there's our FM. Turn it back to wideband. Let's go to shortwave. Let's just start out the search. Or it starts about 23 instead of 1711. I'm just curious as to, for my memory, I've had this for a little bit, it does skip inside the different international bands. That's all it does. So it's misses quite a bit of stuff. Even though the band 1, 2, and 3 cover a lot, it's just going the international bands, and that's it. I don't know if you can get down inside that or not. Here shortly we'll take a look and see. So far hadn't found much. May hook the go pole up here in a second, the sloper antenna. Just see what happens. There we go.
About that crazy.
Oh, and I also missed while we just sit there. Now it stops on wherever it finds, it just stops. And there you are. You can either listen to it, put it in memory, or hit it and move again. It does have a tuning step on this knob of stop, slow, or fast. You don't have to, this is nice that you don't have to multi-press and multi-function and all this dingle-dangle that you got to read the manual every time to remember how to use it. It's just right there. Stop, slow, or fast. Whatever you want to do. I do like that. It is getting cold out here. It's about 42 degrees out. Not too bad on the wind. But I apologize about any farm noise we might hear. I just want to look, can I drop down? Oh yeah. So what you can do is you can go inside those international bands, but then you can start wheezing around wherever you want to go. You can go continuous then with it. That's a nice feature. And then you'll start scanning right from where that left, you know, in the international band is what I'm trying to say. That's kind of nice. If we have time, we'll hook the sloper up to it just to see what happens. See if we get some more stuff, because we only got a couple of stations so far. We should be hitting more now. If we're impressed, we'll just say, oh, we're impressed. Not a bad little radio. It's just the field BT has spoiled me. This is just, I know the field BT is just cheap plastic too. And this is just cheap plastic. But the looks of the field BT is just elegant compared to this. Anyway, I digress. I'm very good at digressing. See if it stops. There you go. There's WWV. It should be. There it is. Curious if we could get using the quick tune, if we could get to 5 megahertz. It didn't stop on it. Yeah, there's 5. So we've heard 5, 10. Let's just go on up just for giggles. I don't think I want to go backwards that way. So there we've heard 5, 10, 15 just on the telescopic antenna. I'd had a request to do a video showing all the WWVs. Well, here you go. We're getting there, aren't we? Let's see if we can get 20. Oops. That's going to take a while to get there. Where do I go? I really don't want to go. Yeah. And there's 20. So here's your example. 5, 10, 15, and 20. Don't get any better than that. Hot dog. Okay. Where was I headed with all this? I got excited. We were going to band 2 and doing some more scan. Band 2 should start out at 9 something. But if you tune inside of all that and you start playing around with it, then it'll take off from there. So that's not the greatest thing on earth. It's okay. I guess that's why you use the quick tune to pop around and get back where you want to go. And I think once it gets where it's going, it'll start all over again. I do believe. Yeah, and then it just starts over. We'll let it run through this one. There's our numbers, lady. All on a telescopic antenna. Lottery numbers. That's what I think it is. Maybe it's sports scores. Hey, it could be. Soccer score. Nobody knows what that's all about. Very cool. Always love to run into her. Question is it a digitally synthesized artificial voice, or is it a real woman that is doing the magic? Nobody knows. Well, I think this is doing pretty darn good for a telescopic antenna. Maybe I'll change my tune a little bit. I think we were getting close to it. No, we were at 17 something when we started this. Should stop around 12, I think. Like I said, should. 12 megahertz and maybe a little later on. If it was just continuous, it would just be wonderful.
Of interpreting dreams and visions. At the end of their training, they impressed.
Alrighty. We all need dreams and visions, that's for sure. And again, I'm not trying to identify every station and hover over every station and listen. I'm just trying to see what it can pick up. Tina. We were there earlier. Alrighty, Radio Havana, Cuba, booming in. Always just a Radio Havana, Cuba is always just a blowtorch. I tell you what, this thing's really doing pretty good. And you can, and again I say, that's how you get around this faulty, flaky, cheap plastic knob that's going to break. You get around that. Use your quick tune, use your up and down, you can scan. No need for a tuning knob that's probably not going to stick around very long anyway. Should have cleaned this up. It's a little dusty. Nobody cares. I'll tell you what, we have found a significant amount of shortwave. Now that's where we left off at. There's 20. Let everybody listen to that that's interested in that again. And off we go. We'll just see. There's probably not much up here. Just probably not a lot of stuff. Maybe one or two stations. I don't think 25 megahertz broadcasts anymore. Let's just stop it and see. That's kind of the experimental on and off WWV. But it'd be fun to hit it right now. Oh, B, listen to that. Ha, ha. I love it. Oh, I love a parade. Isn't that neat? We've heard 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Well, there you go, gang. Why am I so excited? Because I had a commenter ask, can you do a video showing all the WWV stations? Well, how impossible is that to get all at one time? And we just did it. Oh my, what fun. You don't get 25 very often at all, so let's just listen to this for a second. I don't know that we need to hook the go pole up to this thing. Oh, let's just see what happens when we do. Let's put this down a little bit. Flip that over yonder. Hook this up to there. Ooh, things start to come alive, doesn't it? Oh my. How neat is this? Okay, so it's going to be a long video. And it'll probably fade out fairly quickly. Okay, let's go back. And let's just look at our lower stuff here with our sloper antenna hooked up. It's about 20 to 23 foot. WTWW, Tennessee, I think, if I remember. Hard for me to remember all that stuff.
At the risk of
You know, while we do this, let's just do something really crazy. I don't know that I can go that low, but yeah, I can. 2,500. No. 2.5 megahertz. That's the last WWV, and I'm very rarely, mostly late at night, you might hear that. Sorry about that. I just got carried away. We left off at 7,100. Might pick up some single sideband stuff. This doesn't have single sideband. And so it'll sound like Charlie Brown's Teacher. let's just roll on up and see. I'll tell you, this radio is kind of cool if you ask me. So that antenna does, the sloper does help. Give it just a little extra. Gives it just a little extra zip. Gotta love it. I still can't believe all those WWVs at once. That's why I love doing this stuff. They can brighten a cloudy day sometimes. Alrighty, we won't bore people too much with all this. We'll end on that one. Coming in pretty good if you ask me. I can take that off. You can see it does make a difference. Even though I lowered it down a little bit too. Anyway. Okay. So, well, there we go. The Grundig S450 DLX field radio. I have a newfound respect for this one. Not that I didn't have any respect for it. It was just, I don't know. I didn't like it as well as the Field BT, and the Field BT was an amazing radio out here, that's for sure. You can go back and look at that video. And negatives is this tuning knob is really, I would not use the indent for your finger. I think that could really mess things up in time. Outside of that, pretty darn good radio. If you can get one cheap, if you can get it for under $40, I would say grab one. The retail on it when it first came out was around 100, I think, 100, 110, something like that. That's been years ago. And so if you can get one as cheap as you can get it, I mean, if it works, why, it's not a bad radio to have. I started to, on the way out, I don't have scripts and pyrotechnics and theatrics, but I do think about what I might say. And driving out here, I thought, this is not one I'd recommend. And it changed my mind, really changed my mind. And that's when I start to get happy, when it changes my mind about something. Okay, that's about all I got. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when I do new stuff. Share it on your social, anti-social media stuff. Whatever you want to do, leave your comments in the comment section. Also down under the description box here will be a link that you can donate to PayPal. You don't have to have a PayPal account to donate. It takes credit cards and things like that, and PayPal's pretty safe and secure. You can donate whatever you want, whether it's $1. My word, if 2,000 people gave $1, we'd be looking at a really cool radio, I guarantee. It doesn't matter whether it's $1, $2, $5, whatever you want to do. I would love if every subscriber gave $1, I would look at the ICOM ICR 8600. Everybody Google that and see what you think. I know I say I won't do indoor videos. If I had an 8600 sitting on the desk, I would change my mind really quick. Anyway, I digress. It's there for you to donate. All that money goes to buy radios. I really appreciate the people that have donated. And I can't say enough of thanks for that, because it does keep things going, and it does cost a lot of money. And if you are third, fourth grade math, you can figure out how much money that I've sunk into this channel, and it just, yeah, donations are appreciated, that's for sure. So, enough of passing the hat and the tip jar and the offering plate. That's all I got today. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you at the next review.